Hello and welcome to Face Horror Corner. So sorry for the late upload today. I had a lot of homework to do. It should have been released earlier. They released it last minute. Still kept the same deadline, so whatever, we're here now. So today I'm going to be talking about a couple writing tips that I used to complete my first horror novel, A Soulmate of Cinders, that for me personally helped with dealing with writer's block. For the record, I'm somebody who deals majorly with writer's block. I still deal with it now, even I admit sometimes I don't write when I should. What you should really do is write something every single day. It doesn't have to be something you save. It could literally just be a short story, a poem, a paragraph. It's really important. You should be trying to write something every single day to keep the flow going. That's something I don't do. That's just something I would definitely recommend doing. So do as I say, not as I do. For me, one of the most important things, and I know that there's a lot of people who would disagree with me on this, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but for me, I wrote everything in my book out of order. I would write one scene that came to mind, and then I would think about, oh, well, in the outline of my book, this is what I want happening towards the end, right? And I don't feel like I can write in the middle. I can't. The part that I've written up to, I'm just not feeling. I know what's going to happen, but I'm not feeling the writing right now. So what I do is I just go to another section. I open another document, I write another section, I write down the scene, the plot, I make sure it's consistent with what I've already wrote, and then I fill it in from there. So I write the beginning, middle scenes, the end, then I fill it in. So I have to already know what the scenes are going to be, like a general vague outline of what I'm going for. Obviously that's very important, otherwise this can be all disjointed. There's a couple things about my book that I would definitely change. Looking back on it now, I wrote it when I was 18 years old, so now I'm 21. I know I look a lot older than that. You had to stay out of the sun at a young age, that's all I gotta say. But for me, that worked really well. I did that, my newest book, it's called The Pacemaker Incident. The pacemaker is the name of a roller coaster in the book. It's not like an actual pacemaker. But that book, I also did the same thing. I feel like I made the separate scenes work a little bit better, because what's important is you write the separate scenes, you put them all together, then you read it, you fix it, you reread it, you fix it again, you do it repeatedly. You should get beta readers. You need to make sure there's a good flow to the story. You know, the beginning, interesting, there's a middle culmination, then the end. So the end can either flatline or it can be a big culmination. I've seen both ways, kind of depends. Are you looking for a sequel? Is it a standalone? So yeah, the biggest tip, sorry I'm rambling on, the biggest tip I have definitely is you do not have to keep writing a scene at that moment if it's not working. It is much better to write another scene, and even if the scene does not work that you've written for the future part of the book, just delete it, because you have a better idea of how to write that scene in the future when it comes up now. So, yeah, that's my number one tip. Definitely something... My dog's very itchy. He's got a dandruff problem right now. Definitely not something that I think a lot of English professors would recommend, but honestly, it works for me. If it works for you, it's way better than just not writing at all. So, my second tip would be that after you have written a scene, read over it once. Just leave it alone, because if you read it over again and again and again and again, you're going to hate it. It's like when you take a selfie and you stare at it too long and you literally don't even recognize who you are. It's the same concept. So you have to set the book aside. You finish the book, you finish a scene, you finish a page, glance over it, leave it alone. Because you need to be at it fresh, you need to be able to look at it from a different perspective, not just nitpicking all the little details, or on the other end of the spectrum, you could just be glad that you're finally done writing it and not realize the flaws with it. So definitely set everything you write aside, look over it again in the future. This could be a couple days after, this could be months after, because the thing about writing, unless you have a deadline, is that you should take your time with it. You're going to naturally improve as an author the more you write. You're going to, like for my book right now, I actually have it finished, but I'm in the stage where I'm going back over what I wrote and making sure the flow is consistent. And there's a lot of things that I have actually rewritten simply because in the process of writing the book, I became a better writer, and I realized that some things didn't work that I thought worked, or some dialogue was choppy sounding that I thought sounded natural. So it's really important to sit on it and then come back to it, because You just never know. And it's really great. It's a great feeling when you progress in your writing enough that when you look back, you're actually not happy with what you wrote, and you can actually think about what you should change, and you can go back and just change it. It's a great feeling because it's progress. You know, if you ever reach a point where you don't look at your past writing and cringe a little bit, that means you have not progressed. And that's not a good thing. You need to cringe a little bit. It's natural. It's healthy. So those are my quick tips for writing. Keep in mind, I am not exactly a best-selling author, but my book is pretty well rated. It's A Soul Made of Cinders. You can find it, look at my About section on my YouTube, and you can find my Twitter. You can find, I believe I have it linked on Amazon. You can buy my book anywhere, really. It's just Amazon is like where all the cool kids go, I guess. Anyways, yeah, I will fill you guys in on my newest book. I'm going to be trying to find an agent for this one. I say trying because I'm impatient and I might just self-publish it myself because I want you all to read it. It is so awesome, in my opinion. It doesn't mean much. And yes, this week I was planning on reviewing Attack of the Giant Ladybug. I did not have time to watch it. I'm going to shoot for doing that in the next couple weeks. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Thanks to the new people who have been joining my channel lately. I see you all. I appreciate you all. Sometimes I just like comments and don't reply. That's because I have nothing to say to them, but I really do appreciate and I am listening to what you guys are saying. I think it's so awesome that we're building like a tiny community. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day or night. Let me know if you have any other writing recommendations, whatever works for you. You don't have to be an author. You can just be somebody who writes writing for fun, because that's really what it comes down to. It's just expressing yourself and getting those worlds in your head out there. So stay awesome. See you next week. Bye-bye.